And the future stage for some very, very big rugby league games in the Rugby League World Cup in 2021. My name is Martin Vickers, General Manager, Toronto Wolfpack, UK. In terms of format today, as you can see, we've got a very busy day in front of us. Sonny will have to leave straight to our main broadcaster, Sky, where he's doing some extensive work this afternoon, so we'll have a challenging kind of agenda for today. In terms of format, after some brief introductions from our chairman, Bob Hunter, to my right, and Brian McDermott, our coach, and some general intro from Sonny, we'll have James Peacock from Super League managing questions from the floor. We'll have some very limited time then for one-to-ones, and we're going to start with those one-to-ones with the broadcast media, which will be just to our right at the back. And then we have talked about a possible press huddle with the various UK media that we have, because we can set out and doing one-to-ones, but there may be more value in getting longer time with a bigger cluster of press, which we'll do immediately after the broadcast session. In terms of today, we want to introduce you to not only Bob, who's come across from Canada, and also our coach, but the main agenda for today is meeting a true great, a great of all time, a sports person, and a sports person for a reason. This is someone who's not just excelled in one sport, but across 4 disciplines. It's interesting talking with Sonny and his team. You know, they talk about some facts about Sonny that probably aren't the things you find out on Wikipedia, but actually demonstrate the kind of gravity of the things he has accomplished in sport. He's been New Zealand's heavyweight champion and also the WBA international champion with a boxing record of 7-0. As a rugby union player, he's won championships with Canterbury and with the Chiefs. He's won 2 World Cups. And of that elite band of people who've won 2 World Cups, if you look behind the facts, you will see that Sonny has the greatest win ratio of all of that elite team. He's won 2 NRL Grand Finals in 2004 with Canterbury, where still to this day is the youngest player ever to win a Grand Final. In 2013, he won the Grand Final with the Roosters, and that year he was acclaimed as the International World Player of the Year. In 2016, Sonny tried his hand at another sport, another discipline, Sevens rugby, and he represented his country in the Rio Olympics in the rugby sevens. Today we're going to meet a pioneer whose greatest quality is he's a man who's not afraid of challenging the boundaries of what a sportsman can or can't do. May I proudly welcome on stage Sonny Bill Williams.
I'll give you a round of applause, mate.
Well, welcome everybody. What an exciting day, what an exciting opportunity for us. Greetings from David Argyle, our owner. David could not unfortunately make it today, but David was a very, very active participant with Martin Vickers in building the relationship that hits the epitome of where we are today. To say it's a monumental day for our franchise is clearly an understatement. Winning the grand final of the championship this year was just a very, very spectacular achievement and just a wonderful, wonderful thing for our team and our entire organization. Sitting here today with one of the world's best rugby players is that second achievement. Welcome, Sonny. Coder and the rest of your organization, welcome. We are so excited to have you join the organization. A great team and a great organization, and one which we're extremely excited about. Welcome to Toronto, a very, very busy sports market. 6 million people. We're sure you're going to enjoy your time there. For your family, for your kids, and for the entire Sonny Bill organization, we are waiting with bated breath until your arrival. And I can tell you, our media is equally as excited. I've been quoted as comparing Sonny to LeBron James. I'm not sure how big LeBron is in New Zealand and Australia, but he certainly is big in North America. And we think that arrival of Sonny Bill to our city and our organization is equally in the same status. Couple of thank yous from our organization to the RFL for all their support in our 3 years of existence. Now with Super League, Robert Elston and his team and his staff were very supportive with today's event. We thank them. We're now part of that Super League family, and we're quite excited as an organization to be at that level. Lastly, but not least, thank you to our staff who are here today from Canada, to Martin, who is always the drill sergeant to get things done. It's been wonderful. I'm now pleased to turn it over to Brian McDermott.
Thank you, Bob. I'll also say welcome, Sonny. Sonny came to the training camp yesterday, met all the players, met the club, the UK-based players and staff. So we've signed on clearly a world-class international player, but I'm also conscious as coach that we've signed on what I keep calling a brand. The guy's a brand and he's been building that brand up for a number of years. So I think the thing from me I'd like to stress to the room, first and foremost, is I was really keen to get the player. We as a club are going to use that brand, are going to utilise that brand for sure. And in terms of making the profile of Toronto Wolfpack and ultimately Super League bigger, it's going to help that. But I was just keen to stress that I'm really keen and pleased we've signed a brilliant player. And of all the things that Martin Vickers read out there, it's mind-boggling. But the present-day player is the bloke we signed, and that's why I flew out to Japan to ask him a few pertinent questions. We had a couple of hours there over dinner where we both verbally machine-gunned each other with questions about who are we, what are we doing, what our intentions are, what our philosophies are. And I think we both knew that night that this could be good. I don't know if it was a done deal from Sonny's point of view, but I went out there certainly with an opinion that if this doesn't go well, he's not signing with us. But at the same time, I didn't go out there and tell him any lies either. I think the whole night boiled down to one question, which is, are you coming to be a player, a rugby league player, which on every level, what that means. Some of the good stuff, some of the headline grabbing stuff, but also some of the ugly stuff and some of the hard stuff that you're going to go through. And I don't think it's appropriate to tell you what his answer specifically was, but it more than assured me that he's there to earn the respect. I'll tell you this, he said to me, I need to earn the respect of everybody at the club before I start being what you think you've signed on. So yeah, we're really pleased, excited. He's going on a journey with us, and I'll finish off this little bit by saying by the final third of this year, you're going to see the best of Sonny Bill Williams. My aim isn't to get the best of Sonny Bill Williams in round one. His transition from rugby union is going to take some time. So by the final third of 2020 season, you'll see the best of Sonny Bill Williams. And I think it's up to you, Sonny, isn't it now?
All round one. Okay.
Thank you. We'll open up to the floor to questions. We'll have a microphone coming round in the crowd. So if you put your hand up, we'll get around as many as we can. We'll start with Sky Sports. Thank you.
Sonny, welcome back.
Thank you.
Was it always part of your plan to return to league post-World Cup?
Firstly, thank you to everyone being here. Brian and Bob, appreciate the kind words. But yeah, to answer your question, not necessarily. I think for myself, what's done me well throughout my career is just trying to be where my feet are. And it's been a whirlwind. This deal came to fruition in quite a short amount space of time. But like Brian said, it was awesome sitting down with him. It was supposed to probably be 30-40 minute catch up. We sat there for over 2 hours just picking each other's brains. And yes, I'm really grateful and blessed for this opportunity, but I understand what I'm coming into. And as a sportsman, what better, I guess, pressure environment would you want to test yourself? So it's great what Toronto have done, and where they're based, and what they're trying to achieve. I had an awesome talk with David on the phone for about an hour, and just he spoke to me about his aspirations off the field. So it all kind of aligned up, and for me as a man of faith, I just really believe that this is just meant to be. So my wife was probably a little bit upset that she's going to have to move out all 4 young ones over here, but she's my ride or die. And after talking with her, after talking with Brian and David, it's just, I'm really excited about what lays ahead.
You say that this all happened very quickly. Now, I remember first hearing your name linked with this club. I think it was February when we first spoke about it. When did Toronto first make contact with you?
In my understanding, it was pretty much just around the World Cup time, and that's when I was first made aware of it. Obviously the lads in the teams that I've been playing for were, giving me stick, oh, is this true? But I hadn't heard anything from the club. And then once it all came about, it came to fruition really quickly. But from myself, I just go back to the conversations that I had with Brian. For me, yes, I'm a sportsman, but I need to have that purpose, something that I really believe in. And, just his philosophy on how he wants to play the game. I feel like the way that I strive to play the game, I could be really suited to their style of play. So us as Toronto players, I think we're going out there to turn some heads, but then also, the amount of support that the lads have back in Toronto, it sounds crazy. So, it's a journey, and there's a bit of pressure there, but it's so exciting.
Brian said that you met some of your teammates yesterday. Have you had much of an opportunity to watch the Wolfpack in action?
Yeah, well, during that World Cup time, once I found out that they were interested, and after I spoke to Brian in particular, I started watching a few of the games, and I could tell straight away their style of play is different to a lot of other teams. And then, obviously, I made contact with a couple of the players, the Australian players, and from all accounts, yes, it's different. There's challenges, but from where I come in my journey, there's always been challenges. So it's nothing that I'm not used to. But overall, what they're trying to achieve on and off the field is something special. And instead of looking at, I guess, the challenge as, well, what if I fail? It's what if we succeed, and what if I'm part of that? North America, if that door opens, the amount of opportunities for young players coming through would be amazing, and for themselves and their families. And to say that I've been a part of that would be something special.
Was it always Toronto, or was there interest from other clubs?
Well, to be honest, I was, before the World Cup, I was intending on staying in New Zealand for maybe 1 more year, and then
Playing Union?
Yes. Yeah, but once this opportunity came about, and then I was obviously talking with David and Brian, it was just a, I guess, opportunity that I couldn't turn down, and now we're here, talking to you lovely people.
We certainly are. Sonny, so as far as you know, there was no interest from the NRL?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Going into that World Cup, I told my manager, I said, look, yeah, you can talk, but for myself, I would be, wouldn't be doing myself justice or the black jersey justice if I was thinking about what's happening next. I really try and live by that. You drop your tea there, cuz. I really try and live by that mantra of being where my feet are, and that's what I was trying to do. And then, I'll be honest, when we got knocked out after England, that's when we started having these conversations. So.
Brian, I mentioned this before, Sonny has been linked with this club for the best part of 2019. When we first spoke about it, could you ever imagine that you would be sitting here today next to Sonny Bill?
At the start of the year, probably not. But through the year, this opinion is not really based on any significant incident, but I just thought I just knew this club's capable of something special. talking to David about what his plans are and how he'd like to do things differently and how he'd like to just break the norm of rugby league in England, in the UK, in the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah, I just thought Sonny could be part of that. Our people were talking to Sonny's people. I don't think, certainly I never talked to Sonny, and I never spoke to Sonny's people organisation, but certainly as early as in early 2019. And the bit that it wasn't a no, that's what I said. A week after the grand final, we flew back to England to launch David's health product, Rugby Strength. And in the launch of that, a few of the journalists asked, what about recruitment? Where's your recruitment at? I said, oh, we've got some names on the list, you know, and that's all it was. And I mentioned Sonny's name. And they said, is he coming? I said, well, I can't tell you he's coming, but it's not a no. Our people are talking to his people, and it wasn't a straight no. And whenever you're talking in recruitment terms and the answer back isn't a no, that's good. You know, sometimes you just get a complete shutdown. Nah, he's not coming there, so you just move on. So it wasn't a no. But like all you journalists do, the headlines the following week was Sonny Bill Williams is coming to Toronto, which wasn't quite the truth. But I think what happened, it kicked everybody up the backside. So it certainly kicked up the backside and said, well, if we're serious about this, let's go. And that's where Sonny's right. This happened really quickly. From that moment on, this has happened pretty quick.
Finally from me, can you just try and sum up exactly what this man sitting next to you will do for the game in this part of the world?
It's a long-winded answer to this, and I'll try and keep it really short. So I was talking to David Argyle mid-season about various things, about the potential of the club. We have had some difficulties this year. We're 3 years old. Okay, at the time we were 2.5 years old, we were encountering some difficulties. And I had a conversation with David and said, where's it at? Are we okay? You know, what's the future of the club look like? He says, no, everything's good. We just encountered 1 or 2 difficulties. He says, I'm telling you, I get phone calls all the time from major organisations who want to be part of us. So I'm listening to him, and David can speak, in big terms. So I'm just, yeah, okay. And he had a phone call of a very high profile NRL rugby league club, said, would you buy into our shares? Would you buy part of our club? So I'm not going to mention who it was, that would be inappropriate. So he's telling me this story, and he explained it 2 or 3 times, and I'm saying, and I had to stop and say, David, can I just ask you, why on earth would anybody ring you up, certainly an NRL club, a leading NRL club, and ask you to buy shares in them? He said, because when they're asleep, they want our people to be looking on their website and looking at those and have eyeballs on their club. And when we're asleep, all their people will be doing the same with us. And it's all about eyeballs on, 24 hours, eyeballs on your products. I says, no, I understand why they do it, but why would they ring you? And he simply said this, and this is, broadly speaking, how Sonny will affect it. He said, because our team name starts with Toronto. And I just got it straight away. Now, Leeds is a big club. Wigan and St Helens are a big club. Warrington are a big club. Hull are a big club in Super League. And if anything happens for them, it's big in Super League. It's not big around the world, though. And I don't think any multi-millionaire, billionaire, any major investor, anybody who wants to get involved in the club on a significant level, or anybody who wants to get involved in the sport on a significant level, is going to get excited because Salford win a grand final, or Featherstone would maybe win the grand final the division below. Within the sport, that is brilliant. I'm not trying to trivialise what they did last year, both Salford and Featherstone, who got close to the grand final beating us. They're, on a coaching level, go look at that. But that's not exciting too many people around the world. So what Toronto are doing is making people around the world take note of Super League. So Sonny, there was 1 billion eyeballs on the semi-final of the World Cup and the final. And I don't know what the figures would be, but how many people do you think from the 1 billion eyeballs are now clicking on one of the biggest rugby union players in the world and where he's gone to? They're going to follow where he's gone to and take interest. Now, they may have no interest whatsoever to start with in Super League or the Wolfpack, but they are now going to do that. So I completely get why David wants to sign Sonny Bill Williams. And I'll probably put words in David's mouth. If Sonny's an okay player, he'd be happy with that. But he's going to use, and he's paying for Sonny's brand. And everybody's cool with that. It works. It absolutely works. That's why I went out to Japan, because I get all that as well. But I need to make sure he's a player as well, and he wants to be one of the best players in the league as well. Which, I can tell you from many conversations I've had with him, that's going to be the case. So this is not just a player for the Wolfpack. It could affect, and if Super League want to get on board with this and really get behind it and really sit back and have a look at the rules and regulations that they put in place that prevent overseas players and the best players in the world remaining and staying and coming to Super League. There's been so many rules over the last 10, 15 years that have prevented Sam Burgess from staying in Super League and James Graham from staying in Super League. We could have had Jonathan Thurston in Super League, we could have had Darren Lockyer in Super League, but the rules that they put in place, and the reason they put these rules in place is because the slowest clubs can't keep up. And there's an adage within the game, within sport, certainly rugby league, was you go as fast as your slowest man. When I started playing in 1066, that's what you used to say in defensive drills, go as fast as your slowest man. And some people worked out, no, that's bullshit. You don't go as fast as your slowest man, you go as fast as the group can go, and if the slowest man can't keep up, well, you leave him behind. Super League's been adopting rules for 20 years to go as fast as the slowest man. And it hasn't gone as fast as the fastest clubs. And Wigan, listen, Super League this year was crazy. There was the whole of Super League, other than St Helens, numerically were closer to the bottom of the competition than they were to Saints. There was a period where Warrington fallen to second, and in league points they were closer to the bottom than they were in second. And I think that just epitomises where Super League's at. So to break this cycle and to get clubs and encourage clubs and relax some rules about who we can sign on. We can only sign on so many overseas players because there's a quota in place, which means we promote. The aim is to promote English lads. Good, we've done that. We keep doing that. I don't think anyone's going to stop doing that. But this quota, we can only sign on so many players. We need to have a look at that law. And the amount of money we can spend on Super League wages is just ridiculous compared to where rugby union was. Both sports turned full-time around the same time. And where rugby union was at the time compared to rugby league, compared to where they are now, is ridiculous. And I think all these laws need to be looked at.